guys, it's Jen B with Jen B Makeup Magic, and boy do I have the perfect palette for you. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. My eyeshadow was done with this palette. I cannot say enough good things about this palette. Very, very pretty colors. Lots of neutrals in there. If you haven't tried Too Faced palettes before, I highly recommend them. They all come with little cheat sheets like this. So they give you pictures of looks, and they also tell you step by step how to do the look on the back. So really, really good for beginners if you haven't tried their shadows. And the best part about this palette is all of the eyeshadows smell like chocolate. So you really can't beat that. Pretty colors, blendable, and it smells like chocolate. Just take my money. This just came out about probably 2 months ago. I don't know, I think I went to Ulta the other day and they were completely sold out of them, so you might have to find it online, or maybe Sephora has them. But highly recommend this palette. If you don't have it, I definitely suggest it. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a little bit of MAC Strobe Cream. I've already primed my face and moisturized it before I'm going to do my foundation. So I'm just going to take the Strobe Cream and just work that through. This just kind of gives your skin a little glow underneath your foundation. It can kind of help with things getting too matte. So we're just going to put that underneath. Okay. Next I'm going to take my Maybelline Age Rewind Under Eye Concealer. And I'm just going to kind of take that in a triangle shape underneath my eye. Wherever my eyes are dark. I'm kind of avoiding the area directly underneath my eyes because whenever I blend that out with my beauty blender, the makeup will kind of smudge up to there. If you put too much concealer underneath your eyes and you have a lot of fine lines or wrinkles, the concealer will set in those and make the lines look worse. So I always kind of bring mine down a little bit farther and work it up. Alright, so I've got my damp beauty blender and I'm just going to kind of pounce across my eye. I'm going to use the pointed tip. This is really good for applying concealer. I like to use this instead of a brush now, so I'm just going to go underneath the eye and just kind of smooth it up. And having the beauty blender be a little damp, which is how you use it, keeps the makeup from getting cakey and too heavy on your skin, which will settle in lines and wrinkles if you put too much on. I'm just blending that in. Alright, next I'm going to go in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I'm just going to shake the bottle and put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm going to apply this with my beauty blender also, a damp beauty blender. This foundation can have a tendency to be a little bit heavy. That's why I kind of like to use my beauty blender to kind of smudge it out and soften it a little bit, and I'm just kind of pouncing it on my face. I'm kind of rolling. I'm going to go over my eyelids, anywhere I have a lot of redness. I do have a little blemish there. I'm trying to put more foundation to cover that up. I'm kind of just pouncing it across my face. If you wipe, you end up wiping more of your foundation off, which is why I'm kind of rolling it and pouncing it across my skin. Going on over my eyelids where I have any redness. And smoothing it down my neckline so you don't get makeup face. Alright, next I'm going to take the Cover FX setting powder, and I'm just going to take a puff and go over my foundation to kind of set everything. And you just want to kind of press the powder into your skin. I think this is better than using a brush. I think it really gets the powder in and really keeps your makeup from getting shiny and coming off. So I'm just kind of pressing, especially in areas where I know that I'm going to get oily, T-zone mainly. Under the eyes to kind of set your concealer so that it doesn't crease, but you don't want to go too heavy under the eyes because the more makeup you put under your eyes, the more likely it is to crease. So just kind of go light with concealers and powders under your eyes. Alright, and on my lids today, my eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. Now if you guys haven't tried this yet, it's very, very pretty colors. Lots of neutrals, pretty much would work for every skin type. And the plus side is they all smell like chocolate. They have cocoa powder in them, so they smell really, really good. Kind of like chocolates that are calorie free. so help yourself. But this is a really nice palette. The colors are very, very blendable and easy for everybody to use. They're very easy to blend. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with that. First I'm gonna prime my eyelids with MAC Prep and Prime. This will keep my foundation from creasing, or excuse me, my eyeshadow from creasing. And it'll give me the most color payoff. See how my eyelids were kind of red, and when I put that on it kind of neutralizes them a little bit? Kind of want to cancel out any background color before you put on your eyeshadow. And if you're really red in the crease or at the lash line, make sure that you put it not too heavy, but get good coverage. I'll even take it underneath my lid a little bit, the bottom lash line, where I have a tendency to be a little bit red, just to kind of cancel out any redness. Alright, I decided that we're going to go in and do kind of a purple gold smoky eye with this palette. So I'm going to go in with Creme Brulee, which is this gold shade right here, with my Sigma E59. I'm going to pack that on the lid. Remember, when you're putting on eyeshadows, especially if you want good color payoff, that you're just going to kind of pack the colors and not sweep them on. So I'm just kind of patting it on my lid. Okay, so we've got the Creme Brulee all over the lid. Next I'm going to go in with Candied Violet, which is this pretty purple color right here. And I'm just going to take that in a V shape at the corner of my eye and just below that crease. And I'm going to be using my E20 short shader from Sigma. Tap off the excess. I'm kind of going for a little bit of a V shape in the corner. And I'm kind of just pressing that in the crease. I'll go back and blend it with a fluffy brush after. And I'm just following that color in. Not all the way in, I'm kind of stopping a little past halfway on my lid. Alright, so I've got my purple on. I'm going to take my E44 by Sigma, and I'm just going to kind of soften that purple a little bit. Kind of windshield wiper motions into the crease just to soften that line a little bit. Alright, next I'm going to go in with another crease color. I'm going to go in with this matte brown here called Semi-Sweet. And I'm going in again with my E44. I'm going to tap off the excess. And I'm just going to kind of go over that purple, just to give it a little bit more depth in the crease. I'm just going to kind of go over that. Continue to blend that out. I'm going to go back in with my wide shader. That would be the E59 from Sigma. And I'm going to go into my highlighter color, which is Champagne Truffle, and I'm just going to brush that along my brow bone. Just to kind of soften and brighten my eye area a little bit. Really just kind of softening it. I don't want it to be like a harsh white line underneath my eyebrow. Alright. Now if you need to do any cleanup, when you're doing your eyeshadow, you don't want your eyeshadow to come down too low because it'll pull the eye down. You always kind of want to keep everything up and lifted. So I'm just going to take the tip of my Beauty Blender and I'm just going to sweep that up gently and clean off any excess fallout that I had. Because if you have shadow coming down here, it's going to pull your eye down. So I'm just going to clean up the corners a little bit. Alright, next I'm going to tight line my upper waterline and my lower waterline with a TG Black pencil liner. Okay, so I've lined both of my eyes. I'm gonna go back in with the Candied Violet and my E30, and I'm gonna just go underneath my lash line on the bottom and kind of smudge some of this purple color underneath just to kind of make it a little bit smokier. Kind of just going right on top of that liner. Next I'm gonna go in and line my top lash line with my Lauder liquid eyeliner. And I like to kind of start in the middle of the lid. I feel like it's a little bit easier for me to do. And I do it in small sections instead of trying to take one big line. I'm going to kind of draw my wing up. And I'm not doing too exaggerated with the eyeliner, just a little flick in the corner. Always bring your eyeliner up whenever you do it. If you drag it down, you're going to pull the eye down. The eyebrows next. I finished my eyeliner. I'm going to go in with the NYX Eyebrow Cake Powder. And I'm going to go with the color Taupe and Ash. And I'm going to be using my E65 Sigma brush. Take off the excess. And I'm just going to kind of fill in sparse areas. I'll show you. Eyebrows are done. And just one more thing I wanted to say about eyebrows. I definitely like to see them a little bit thicker on people. If you think of it like Disney villains, they always have really thin, skinny eyebrows because it's supposed to make them look older, I guess, and meaner. So when you think about a young child or young people, they typically have fuller, thicker eyebrows. So I am kind of liking a little bit of a thicker brow right now, as opposed to really thin, pencil thin eyebrows. I just think it kind of ages you. So try to keep your eyebrows a little bit thicker. That doesn't mean go through and exaggerate and make it look crazy. Try to follow your natural shape and making sure that I'm paying very close attention to these little lashes in the corner. I find some from MAC especially to be a little bit drying on the lips. A lot of shine to them, so I'm going to go back over it with MAC Force of Love. And just as a finishing touch, I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Pink Leopard Bronzer. I'm just going to kind of brush that along my face just to give me a little bit of color. I have pretty fair skin. I'm just going to kind of sweep this where the sun would hit my face naturally, which would be cheekbones, forehead, nose, chin.